Hey guys, Steve here from Calls and Coins Detecting, and welcome to a new video. Haven't done a video for a while. I've been away visiting Dad, and then I got the spicy cough, so I've only just kind of recovered from that. So yeah, sorry about that, no videos for a little while, but I'm hoping to get back out soon to do some more bush videos and beach videos. And today I thought I'd do a tutorial video on the Manticore. So my idea for this particular video isn't a new idea. Others have done similar things, but I thought what I'd do is make a program up for the Manticore for searching relatively new parks for shallow decimal coins. Now the Manticore is obviously a very powerful machine. It's capable of much more than that, but it's something that you might want to do, particularly if you're pressed for time and you just want to race out for an hour or so and see how many decimal coins you can find. Now in Australia, we have 6 decimal coins that you can find here that are still being used today. 5 cent piece, 10 cent piece, 20 cent piece, 50 cent piece, $1, $2. And we have the luxury here in Australia of the most, well, a $2 coin's actually worth finding, and a $1 coin's worth finding. Some countries, the only coins you will find are very low denomination, not worth very much. But in Australia, it's well worth the effort. You can find $10 or $20 or $30 worth of coins in an hour or two at a park if you find the right park. So what I thought I'd do is set up a program that just isolates those targets. Now I know people are going to say, look, you're going to miss heaps of targets, you're going to miss jewellery, you're going to miss cool stuff, and I'm going to miss pre-decimal coins, and that's true, I probably will. But I'm not aiming for those in this particular setup. And I'm well aware that I will miss those targets. And look, if I'm looking for those sorts of targets, I wouldn't use this setup at all anyway. But this is a very specific setup for a particular type of hunting. You can call it cherry picking if you like. You can call it decimal coin hunting. You can call it what you like. But I'll set this up and I'll show you how we do it. So first things first, we're going to go into settings and we're going to use all terrain general. Pretty basic. Search mode, it's good all-rounder, so we're going to stick with that. We're going to ground balance 0. We're not going to ground balance the machine. If you live in a place where there's a lot of mineralised, highly mineralised soil, you may well need to ground balance. Where I am, the soil is pretty neutral, so I don't need to ground balance. Now recovery speed, this is an important setting. I'm going to be detecting fairly quickly, and I'm also looking for shallow coins, so coins that are 4 or 5 centimetres deep or thereabouts, which is what, 2-3 inches, something like that. Not really hunting for deep coins, not today. So I'm going to bump this up to 7. That'll allow good target separation. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to discriminate out the targets that we don't want to hear, and we're only going to hear what we do want to hear. So we're going to discrimination pattern, hit the pencil button to edit. We're going to bump our selection width right up to 20, and we're going to press the accept reject button so that we blank out 0 to 20. We're going to move across. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to blank out everything. Seems a bit counterintuitive, right? Take everything out. By doing this, I'm not going to hear a damn thing. And that's right, I'm not. But I haven't finished yet. So we'll blank out everything, go across to that last bit. Now, if I go into detect mode, you'll see that everything is blanked out. I'm not going to hear anything. Now, I've got a 5 cent coin down here. You can see it on the 2D map, but you can't hear anything at all. That's okay, because what we're going to do now is we're going to go over the top of each coin with the coil, and we're going to bring it back in to so the machine can hear it. Now what I'm going to do is go into all metal mode. Now what all metal mode would allow me to do is hear everything again, and that's what we need to do. We need to hear these targets one at a time and actually allow them to come back in. So as I go over the 5 cent piece, it's a 1920, so I'm going to put my finger on the accept reject button, going to go over the target and press that button a couple of times. Now what you'll notice, once it clears, if I go out of all metal, see how it's put a white line there? That's going to allow me to hear a 5 cent piece if I'm searching with all the discrimination enabled. Let's test it. Yep, hear it no problem. So what I'm going to do is place each coin down, and I'm going to remove it So I'm going to re-add it into the discrimination program so that we can hear each coin individually. Alright, give me a second, I'll set up each coin and we'll do them one at a time. Alright, next coin I want to bring in is a 10-cent piece. So we go back into all metal so I can hear it, go over it. It's about a 30. Put my thumb on the accept reject, go over it. Get it on the sweet spot on the coil. 29. It's pretty solid 29. Okay, so I've done that, and you'll see again, I've got a line there where 29 is on the display. Next coin. Okay, next coin we're going to do this with is the 20-cent piece. Go back into all metal mode. Thumb on the accept reject button. Sweet spot on the coil. 41. Press the accept reject button. 41. If I go back into, if I disable all metal, I can now hear that 20-cent piece. 41. Perfect. Next coin. 50-cent piece. Okay, we've got a 50-cent piece there now. Back into all metal. Repeat the process. Thumb on the accept reject button. Sweet spot on the coil. 47. Pretty clear. Now some coins might fluctuate a little bit. They might go 1 or 2 target ID numbers either side, and you can obviously enable those as well. And what I probably will do, just to give a little bit of room for error, is particularly on the $1 and $2 coins, I'll probably have a slightly wider range because I don't want to miss those. I'm not so worried about the lower denomination coins. 50-cent piece though, pretty clear at 47. Okay, now the coins that I'm really interested in. $1 coin. These are the ones that are worth finding. Into all metal. 60. See how the target ID number is flicking around? 65, 66. So I want to include 65 and 66. Okay, I've got to see how the accept bar there, if I go into all targets again, see how the $1 bar is slightly wider than the 5 and 10 cent bars, and that's because there are a couple of different target ID numbers that can come up, 65, 66, and I might even go 67 here. And the last coin that we really want to find is the $2 coin. That is the one we really are interested in the most. It's a smaller coin than the $1 coin, but it's worth more. I'll go into all metal again, back into accept reject, 64, 65. So it's actually in a very similar range and butts up against the range for the $1 coin you'll see there. So if I go out of all metal, you'll see the range for $1 and $2 coins is quite wide. Now what we can do is give that a little bit more room to breathe. So we can go back in discrimination. Into discrimination we can reduce the size of the bar down to 1, and we can go back across to where the $1 and $2 coins are. See how the crosses come up? If I press the accept reject button, I'm actually going to discriminate that out. So if I go across to 67 and I press the tick, it's going to bring that in. So I've widened it a little bit there, and I'll do the same on the other end. 64, I want to bring 63 in. Let's tick that. Okay, now if we go back in, you'll see here the $1 and $2 range is quite wide. Now the other thing we can do is we can raise the Ferris limits and drop the top Ferris limit, raise the bottom Ferris limit, and we can reduce these even more. So let's go do that. We'll go into Ferris limits, into the preset, and we'll just edit the presets. The up is set to 9. We can in fact make that something like 12, and the lower we can make that, let's make the lower, let's make it 6. See how that looks. So it's definitely lowered the top one. The bottom one, we could mess around with this a bit more and tighten this right up, but I think that's good enough for the moment. So I'm getting my $2 coin, very, very obvious target, and that's what we want to hear. All right, so the other thing we might do, we've done our recovery speed. I did set that to 7 before, so I'm going to leave that at 7. I want it to be fairly fast. Ground balance, as I say, was 0. We'll do a noise cancel now that we've set everything up. Noise cancel that. And our volume, we can set whatever we like, and away we go. We can start hunting for those decimal coins. As I say though, this is only really useful for a very specific type of hunt. You're looking for modern coins in Australia. They're shallow, and you're not really wanting to hear anything else, and you're time poor. If you were going to look for other things like pre-decimal coins and jewellery and these coins, you certainly wouldn't use this program. But hopefully that helps. Give it a try, see what you think of it. I'm going to have a hunt now for the next, 20-30 minutes and see how we go. And I'll show you if I come across some buried coins here. I will give you a listen, and you can tell me whether you think this is a good program or not. Cheers, guys. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention was the sensitivity, and because we're looking for shallow coins, decimal coins, in the playground in a fairly modern area, we're not looking for depth really. We're looking at maybe 3-4 inches at the most, hopefully less than that. So I'm going to say sensitivity about 18. You could even go down to 16 or lower, but I think 16, 17, 18 is about right. You don't really want to go any more than that because you don't want to see too deep. We're not looking for deep old coins in this setting. We're looking for the shallow ones. So just keep that in mind. Change those settings as you go, whatever suits you. But I'm going to say 16, 17 or 18 would be probably about the right sensitivity for this kind of setting. Okay, so first target I'm hearing is a 19. Now obviously that doesn't mean it's 100% a 5 cent piece, but it's shallow and it's a 19. Every time I run across it, there's a good chance that that is a 5 cent piece, so let's check that out. It's dead quiet while you're hunting, which is kind of weird. Not really used to it being so quiet, but that's the point of it. You don't hear anything else, it doesn't distract you, and all you're doing is hunting for what you want to hunt for. Let's see what we've got. Obviously it could be something other than a 5 cent piece. There are other targets that ring up the same as these coins. And there's our, dug it out already. There's our 5 cent piece. Stood out very, very clearly. So that's working quite well. Let's keep going, see if we can find a few others. All right, next target that falls in our range is a 41. It's quite repeatable and 2 bars down. If we turn on it a little bit, still getting it from this angle as well. So for me that's enough to check it out. 41 was a 20 cent piece. We're hoping that's what this is. Of course, as I said before, there are other targets that can be in line with these target ID numbers, but it does eliminate a lot of the trash and does eliminate a lot of the unnecessary digging. So let's check, add pull tab. That is the thing that's going to drive you a little bit nuts. It wasn't a real crisp 41, and pull tabs are in the range of 20 cent pieces. Always have been, always probably will be. The Equinox I think is 16 for 20 cent pieces. It's also 16 for pull tabs like this, so you will still get some, but it should minimise it. Alright, let's keep hunting. Alright, on our tight discrimination pattern, our coin carnage program, if you like, we've got one here, 65, 66, ringing in at that $1 and $2 range. And if I turn 90 degrees on it, I'm still getting it. So that's pretty good. That's definitely worth checking out. Can't quite hear it on the pinpointer, but I don't think it's very far down. just here somewhere. Let's see if we can unearth it with one hand. Okay, just getting down to it here now. Let's see if we can pick it up on the pinpointer. Yep, just in here. It sounded quite clear. It was definitely in our range. And there's our coin. $1. Stood out pretty well in amongst the other signals. It was very clear compared to our, we're not hearing any other signals, are we? So it's stands out even more. Awesome, works well. Let's keep looking. Well, I hope you find these settings useful. I found a few coins in the short time I've been here. They do stand out pretty well, and you can configure these slightly more, fine-tune things a bit, so that you get them how you want them. But worth a try. As I mentioned in the start of the video, this is a very specific setup for a very specific type of hunt. Shallow decimal coins, current coins in a new area, a new park. Not looking for old pre-decimals or old coins. Not looking for jewellery either. I mean, if it happens to fall in the right numbers, great, but we're looking for those 6 Australian decimal coins, and this setup will really give you the opportunity to do that most efficient way. So thanks for watching. Happy to hear any comments you might have to improve the settings, or ask any questions about the settings generally. And yeah, please like and subscribe. Catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.